August 2nd, 6:40 a.m. Humidity's dropped out here quite a bit. This video could be long. I will be turning this camera on and off. The Deus 2 version 3.10, the HF2 coil. I believe all the HF2 coil owners or potential owners should watch this video, okay? This is a sterile environment other than what you're going to see, you know, when I change things out on the top of this foam here, okay? And I'll be mentioning some coil height along the way. We'll just use the fast program. If I change the frequency bands, I'll try to tell you. You see that sizable nail there? Now, disclaimer, if I remove that nail, I guess I could do it. Okay, we're just going to stay in reactivity 1, probably for this whole video, okay? 95 sensitivity. Audio response is 5, we're in pitch 2. Now, you don't hear that nail, okay? You don't hear that nail. Now, this notch setting is going to change probably some in this video, but you see where that notch is at? 00 to 66. Nothing. Down close even. 2x4 thickness at least. Okay, the quarter's going in there. Okay, now this is going to get interesting what you're going to see in this video. You hear that? But I've got a 7 in the meter. Remember what my notch was set at? There's 6 inches of coil height. I've got a 7 in that meter with that notch. Iron tit is off. I'll turn iron tit on. I've got that 7 in that meter, but you hear that audio. And it's not there until I put that quarter in there. All right, there's an 8. You see that? Now that's silencer 1. Remember that, okay? I'm going to turn the camera off. All right, camera back on. When I showed that quarter in that larger, more modern style looking nail, I was at 53 kilohertz band. I'm still in 53 kilohertz band. That's a sort of a flatter shaped colonial period nail with a clad dime. You see that? Sweeping the hard way at silencer 1. Again, note my disc setting. And that's all I've got in it, okay? 0 to 66. You hear that audio? No ID. Even with iron tit on, no ID. Coming over that dime, there's never any ID in this meter, okay? So somebody may be wondering, okay, I'm at a 0 to 66 disc. There's 70. It starts getting a little shaky right there. 67. 66. You see that? 62. 0 to 62. So here's the question. I don't know the answer to this. Would you ever see ferrous or a ferrous scenario on this machine with iron tit on? See, I can take the notch out. Would we ever see iron do this? What's happening here? Meaning there's no ID. Or is this a glitch in this machine? A bug? Alright. That's pitch 2. Let's just change it to 4 tones and see what happens. Now it is square tones, but that's 4 tones. No ID. You hear that. Now if we start rotating, I've got ID right there, 83, 85. That is silencer 1 to 53 kilohertz band. Okay, we're still going to stay in silencer 1. We'll go back to pitch 2. Okay, I'm going to start rotating on the target. So I've got some 74, 82 coming in there. We get about 80 there, but right here, look at there. Boom. That's 6 inches of coil height over that dime. Easy, okay? There's 3. No ID ever in the window. All right, let me turn the camera off. Okay, camera back on. Now the notch has been removed, okay? No notch. Let's see what happens here. Iron tit is on. Did we get anything? We get a 1. That's what's in that meter. You see that? A 1. Strong audio. Now, if I remove that dime, you're not going to hear that 1 in that, hear that signal. Okay, let me turn the camera off. Camera back on. And watch this. This is wild, boys, okay? So I showed you it had a 1 in the meter, and we may go back and look at that again. Now look what my notch is. 07 to 99. Now I'm going to sweep. Nothing. Maybe some iron tone in there. I'll turn it up to max. Let's hear what this sounds like. Yeah, iron tone. I'm going to turn it back to where it was, 7. Okay, so you seen that notch there, right? You see that? All right, let me turn the camera back off. Camera back on. Notch has been removed. All right. This is a 53 kilohertz band. Got a 1. All right, we'll change it to the 89 just so you can look at it. Got a 1. 29 kilohertz band. Got a 1. We'll go back to the 53. Okay. Notch. So I just notched it over to, we'll just notch it up to 10. No ID, but we still have audio. How about that shit? But to hear that dime there with that nail coming the hard way. Okay, if I shift the coil back, now I got a 7. Sometimes I even get some higher numbers there, but straight over that, there's no ID with that notch in it. Notch off, coming straight over. The meter's locked up on a 1 for all practical purposes. You see that? Yet I can notch this machine from 0 way up yonder. There's 64. You hear that? Let me turn the camera off. Okay, camera back on. We're still in the fast program, 53 kilohertz silencer 1. There's a silver ring. Now this, everything you see in this video is more or less the same plane, okay? Sweeping the hard way, you see how long that nail is. 53 kilohertz band, 0 to 64 notch. I've got a 7/8 in the meter. There's 8 inches of coil height. Now if I back the coil up, well, I still see 7/8 in that meter. Now that's silencer 1, keep that in mind, okay? Alright, camera back on. Now that's 10 karat gold ring, sweeping the hard way. No notch. Monster ass signal with 49 in a meter. Alright, turn the camera off. Camera back on. You see how long that nail is. That's a little 10 karat gold ring laying there. The hard way. 53 kilohertz band, no notch. From 2 inches above, flashes between a 1 and a 9 for ID. 6 inches of call height. Let me turn this iron tit off. 6 inches of call height. I've got 51, 53 in the meter. Gold ring removed. There's 2 inches, 6 inches. We don't have anything there. Okay, let's put the gold ring back. That's a rough test right there, boys. You try that with most detectors, and you are SOL. Okay. Now, we'll sweep again. Alright, so I'm going to go in here this time. Notch. I'll start notching this thing again. What happens? There's 36. I've still got signal. What have I got for ID? No ID. Alright. So the question is, can I get over a ferrous or ferrous combination only with this machine and get it to sound off like it's doing right now and not giving the ID? I don't know. You hear that? 36. We'll go on up with a notch, just to see what happens here, okay? 43. No, 0 to 43. Okay, we're gone there. For all practical purposes, we're gone. But if we trade that gold ring out for this quarter here, this clad quarter, what happens? And this is a high conductor on that big nail. What happens? You see the notch. We got signal. Okay, do we have any ID on this one? Got an 8. But remember, I've got 8 notched. 0 to 43. Alright, we're going to leave this quarter here, okay? So I'm 0 to 43 notch. I'm going to turn iron tit on just to see what happens. That was iron tit off, you just saw. I've still got that 7, 8 in the meter, okay? I'm going to turn iron tit off. We're going to go in here. We're going to take this notch out. We're going to stay on this quarter just for a little bit anyway, okay? We're going to go over here, and we're going to start notching this machine from the top down. We'll check it, see where this quarter, what happens to it. Okay? So there's 86 to 99. I've got signal still. 71 to 99. I don't have any signal. $78 to 99, I've got signal. You see that? Alright. What do we got for ID? 7. At times, most times 0, no ID. Iron tit on, what happens? You see what I've got in that meter? Predominantly a 1 again. Okay? So now we got a predominantly 1 in the meter. Now watch this. Let's just try this. I'm going to scroll down, set us up a new notch to add with the one I got above. Okay? Now I've got 0, 0 through 7 notched. in 78 to 99 knots, what happens? I've still got signal. How about that? So this is some good information for a person to know, you know, and see this machine hitting those objects down the barrel of these nails like that. You won't find that generally, okay? Especially high conductors. Now, disclaimer here, I'll just keep this video short. I only showed the 53 kilohertz band, okay? And the machine was in reactivity 1 the whole time. Silencer was at 1 the whole time in this video. Okay, now approach angle like you're seeing that quarter. If you try to come through here with a Manicore 9/11" called Deus 2, 9/11" called sweeping like so, you are shit out of luck. Alright. M8 coil on a Manicore, you come through like this right here, you might be shit out of luck. Alright. That's going to conclude the video. The mighty Deus 2 HF2 coil, firmware version 3.10. You may see me showing some additional stuff today.